Hello and welcome to Dear IJ. This is where we add value to your spirit, your soul, your mind, and your body. We just want you to be better. No pretense and no judgment. So this first we share a letter, a summarized version of letters that we get, and feel free to also send in your letter. Dear IJ across all the handles, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Anyway, so having said that, you can send in your letter about whatever is worrying you. I'm a psychologist by training, but even as a human being by experience, I'll try my best to help you with some helpful hints on how to handle whatever the situation is. So today I'm going to share a letter that goes this way. It says, Dear IJ, my husband cheats on me constantly, bringing home diseases, drama, and depression. He says men are naturally polygamous and I should learn to manage him. We have 5 children. He provides for us very well, but I am scared that this will not end well. Is polygamy indeed natural to men, or is it something that society has learned to tell women to suppress our emotional capacity to deal with it? This is loaded, very loaded. So this letter is from Glory. So I hope you're watching this. First of all, I want to say something. I'm going to help Nigerians because every time I see it, I'm like cringing. If you took sociology, first of all, Gloria, I empathize with you, but we'll take one thing at a time. If you took sociology, the definition of polygamy is marriage. I repeat, marriage, not relationship. Marriage between more than 2 persons. So under polygamy, polygamy can be a man having 2 wives or a woman having 2 husbands or more. So under polygamy, there is polygyny. This is the education part. I know where I'm going with this. There's polygyny. Polygyny is marriage between one man and more than 1 wife. Polyandry is marriage between 1 woman and more than 1 husband. You see, the key word is marriage. I keep repeating it. Now, the mistake we have is men are going around, men are polygamous by nature, and I laugh because I don't think they know what they're saying. If you approve polygamy, it means that you're saying it is equally okay for your wife to have more than 1 husband. And I'm sure that's not what the Nigerian men mean by that. Having said that, we pack it to one side. So some people can say religiously, traditionally, that's how it's supposed to be. No qualms. So I've given you the definition. Now let me give you my viewpoint, and which is one thing you mentioned. Polygamy, cheating is not polygamy. Why is cheating cheating? Cheating is when 2 people who have agreed to be monogamous, 2 people have agreed via marriage oath. Now one person decides to break that oath, or both parties decide to break that oath because you're doing it without consent. And because you're doing it with deception, it is cheating. Because there's also relationships, especially in the Western world, where the 2 people say they have an open marriage. You cannot say it's cheating. Remember, we say no judgment. So you can't say it's cheating because that's what they both decided. So nobody is lying to the other, nobody is deceiving the other. But in a situation where you have come into a marital situation where you want to be fidelity is between the 2 of you, if you step outside that, you are cheating. All this culture of side chick and all that, everybody is endorsing cheating. Now, having said that, we'll pack it to one side. Now, if you go back to when we had polygamy, right? Every time I hear the stories, I'm like, really, that really does something for me, because my grandmother was the 3rd wife, for instance. But back then, how it works is that the first wife helps the husband to marry in the second wife. And if he wants more wives, the other 2 will help with the 3rd one. So it was a communal understanding. Now, some of my male friends have said to me, well, there has to be some relationship before you decide to marry the person. But the person, the first wife, should know that there's propensity for you to have more wives. So when you're dating, she can even tell you the kind of women you should be looking to date, because she's looking for co-wives. It's been understood. So again, that absence of communication and understanding, of course, makes everything cheating. We'll pack it to another side. Now, having said that, the letter spoke about diseases, drama, and depression. Those are realities. And if depression, stress from it causes cancer, causes all manner of ill health for anybody who's going under it, diseases are real. There are diseases flying around everywhere, every day. So those are real concerns. So I think when two people, before you even get married, you need to have these discussions. Because I remember when I was practicing, one woman made it so, when I was practicing, not in this country, but when I was practicing my professional psychology, she said something to me that struck me, and I've never forgotten it. She said, you know, when you are not committed to one partner, especially sexually, you're transmitting, you're transferring, not just spiritual things, but even the mere fact that when you exchange saliva with one person in the morning, you come in the afternoon, you exchange, the hygiene component of it is disgusting. But some people, that's the life they've chosen to have. You understand? So I think what makes cheating is the absence of communication and truth between the two people. If one person is there thinking, this is my husband, he's all mine, this is my wife, he's all mine, then anything that violates that becomes cheating. Now, she's saying she doesn't know how to handle it. The first things first, communicate with your husband. You have 5 children. Some people have all manner of understanding. But I made some notes as usual. Let me share some of my notes on this, because for every topic I try to think it out, like what are some things I can give to help. Now, I want you to know that monogamy is about commitment. So if we're in the wild, let me be honest, I know this is going to be controversial. I tell people I'm a polygamist. I think if we were in the wild, both men and women would copulate with whomever. But we're not in the wild. We're supreme beings. So it is because of that when people choose to be monogamous, it is a spiritual. And that's the part. We're doing something that is supernatural. But it's a choice. And that choice can only happen if you exercise discipline. If you exercise discipline and you have respect for yourself and the person you're in a committed relationship with. So in the absence of discipline, the spiritual values or morality that goes into it, and the commitment, because you are the one that went to the altar and said, this, I'm going to be faithful to you. So you've made the choice. In the absence of that, we're just wild animals. We can sleep with anybody, do anything with anybody, if that's your understanding. And again, that cannot take place in the absence of communication. So let's understand that marriage is a spiritual concept. Commitment is a personal choice that speaks to your own integrity and respect. So if you have told somebody that you're my one and only, also know that there are health implications, there are structural implications to crossing those boundaries. So if you cross the boundary and you start sleeping around and all those, having those, you heard her. She said there are health problems, there are diseases, there are issues of boundaries. Because one day, even the person that is outside of that relationship, that is doing the side chicken and the what do you call the male version of it? Side piece. The ones that are doing it, even them, their emotions, that they get caught up in emotions. They might start something that started as a casual relationship, might get serious. Jealousy goes in, envy goes in. Sometimes people murder people because they are envious of their spouse. So we need to be careful. Having said that, what are some things that is going to help Glory? Because that's actually the focus. Now that she's found herself in this situation. My advice to you is, Glory, do you. I'm sure if I met you in person, I'll know that you're not doing enough. You're not paying enough attention to yourself. If you're paying enough attention to yourself and your children, you start noticing that you have drawn boundaries. Take good care of yourself. Make sure you're doing enough exercise, you're eating well, you start making friends, have network of friends. I hope you have a career, you have something doing. Even if you're a full-time housewife, have something doing. Sew clothes, read books, keep Account for every single second of your day. Anytime you're not doing something, let it be that you're resting, that you're sleeping, that you're appreciating nature. But take up your time. If you start taking up your time, your husband will start appreciating that you are calculating your space without him. And he'll start making himself available, because the essence of any intimate relationship is relevance. The moment, I'm telling you, even with your children, your husband, your parents, the moment you become irrelevant, that relationship dies. What you give attention to flourishes, and what you take attention from dies, it withers. So if you start putting more attention to yourself, you start wondering, even the man will start wondering if there's another man, blah blah blah. He will come back. If in fact there was ever love, because sometimes that's also an issue. If it didn't start with the foundation of love, then when you have these challenges, it's hard to recoil it. So having said all of that, to Glory, please, we need to work on you. Let's create a brand new you. You have 5 children. I can imagine you being a beautiful woman. 5 children. So put your energy on yourself. Put your energy on your children. Stay positive. Don't spend the little time that your husband will give you. Try not to make it about him and cheating and all that. Find something communal to talk about, something refreshing to talk about. If your husband is interested in something, start being curious about it. Start telling him about new things that are happening with you. You don't have to be the beginner of the conversation about the things he's doing wrong. When you stop paying attention to those things, if he's a good man, he will sit up. That's what we hope. So having said that, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash. It's okay, bring it on. Please visit us on any of the social media handles. Dear IJ, that's DEA_IJ. But I think on YouTube, it's just Dear IJ that way, and Facebook as well. So you can write to me and say, oh, I don't agree with you about polygamy. I was just being objective. I think if it's agreed upon between the 2 people, please go for it. But if it's not agreed upon between the 2 people, it's cheating. And that's just the point I was trying to make. It is cheating. So please empower yourself. And women, please, the first point of empowerment is character. Second one is economic empowerment. Because I think some women put up with a lot of stuff when they're not economically empowered. They're not able to make healthy choices, because first you must survive before you thrive. And when you can't survive, you put up with a lot of nonsense. When you can survive, then part of your thriving is making the right choices, quality choices for your life. But please, Glory, remember you have your children. You don't want the issues between your husband to kill you before you get to enjoy your children. Having said that, I wish you a wonderful day, and more importantly, stay healthy, stay happy, and please keep it positive. That's it from us. Take care.